30 and 1. 30 and 1. michaelmclean.coach, your daily mental kick in the pants. If you fell off a turnip truck and have come here for the first day, you can subscribe to these ugly, broken iPhone videos in your email box at 6 a.m. every day at michaelmclean.coach. There's nothing to buy. I shoot these videos 365 days a year, and I email them to you every morning at 6 a.m. Not everybody's cup of Jack Daniels. 30 and 1. The very first month of a brand new calendar year, January. My record, making it public, 30 and 1. And admittedly, that one has been bothering me for over a week and a half. My long-term goal this year, my target, I'm talking about the big calendar that I put up at the first of every year. Mine is in my bedroom beside my bed. The last thing I do with the Jerry Seinfeld never break the X calendar, I have this big 12-month calendar up on my wall beside my bed. Before I do my gratitude and prayer with my wife, the last thing I do is give myself an attaboy, one of my gold stars, and I put a big black X in the day. If I've done the 3 things to earn that X. And I've been doing this for a number of years, and that X has been many things. It's been walking, it's been going to the gym, it's been writing for half an hour, it's been for reading a few pages, it's been everything. It's been not drinking alcohol, drinking water. Every month it's different, every year it's different. But I like to pick 2 or 3 little things that if I do them for the whole year, one day at a time, those 1 or 2 or 3 things are going to have the most positive impact in my world. So this year I picked 2 or 3 things to do, and my big Hail Mary goal was to go 365. 2 years ago I went 365 and 0. I never missed a single day of shooting one of these videos here. Every day, winter, bugs, heat, sleet, rain, sick, traveling. I never missed a day of shooting a video. 365 and 0. I went 7 and 0, 14 and 0, 21 and 0, 30 and 0, 45 and 0, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And I didn't stop until I'd done one extra day. Last year, I missed 5 days of the tiny goals I had. So I was 359 and 5, something like that. I missed 5 days. 5 days made me sick to my stomach, where I missed my walk, missed my reading, or missed my writing, something like that. Unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable, no excuses. And those 5 days bothered me after having a perfect year the year before. So my goal this year was 365 and 0, and I have to admit that I'm already at 30 and 1. And again, there's no excuse, absolutely no excuse. I literally was getting into bed 10 days ago, and my wife Krista turned to me and she said, "Did you walk today? Did you walk today?" And I looked at her and I said, "I didn't walk today." I cannot believe it. I just whiffed on what I've done for 20 some years. I said I didn't walk. And it was too late. It was too late for me to get in the 15,000 or 12,000 steps, the hour, 70 minutes, whatever. And I just sat on the edge of the bed in stunned silence. My wife she just sees me put an X up. That's like part of she sees me every night, put an X up, jump into bed, do our gratitude. She was almost as stunned as I was. But whose fault is it that I literally got distracted and did not walk? I was writing a newsletter. I shot a video out by the pool. I ate a perfect diet. I went to the gym and trained. I wrote some emails and I missed my walk. Well, it's 100% my fault. And that's just the way it is. Every win and loss in my life is my fault. It may not even be my fault, but it sure as hell is my responsibility. Well, Michael, I didn't have good parents. Well, that's not your fault, but what you do with your life is your responsibility. Well, I've had a couple of marriages and I've had problems with addiction. Listen, what happened to you might not all be your fault, but as sure as shit is it's your responsibility to make it work. So it's bothered me like it should for the last 10 days. It's not stopping me. It's not crippling me. I'm not depressed. I'm not anxious. I'm just pissed off at myself. And I've moved ahead. I've moved it. I'm using it as fuel and gasoline. That's what champions do. Like my goal now is to go 28-0 in February. And then my goal is to go 6 months and then 364-1 will be the best record. So, it's no different than a football team. You lost a game that you should have won, but you know what? Use it to smarten up and become better. I always told my hockey players in minor pro and in junior, you learn a hell of a lot more from losing. From winning, you learn entitlement, you learn shortcuts. It's almost rat poison to a degree. But my most important lessons in life, whether business or whether as a husband, a father, or as a coach, my most important lessons have come behind the woodshed. When I got my ass kicked, sometimes publicly, sometimes bankruptcy, broke, somebody leaving me, somebody quitting, whatever it is, I've learned more from losing than I ever did from winning. Teaches you to smarten up and become better. So I've taken this one loss as fuel and gasoline to smarten up. No, it's not acceptable, and I am upset about it, and I'm actually personally ashamed of it. But you know what? The big thing here, my mentor Wayne Maxner in pro hockey used to say, he's like, Michael, if you miss, he was a guy recovering 10, 12 years from alcohol and coached in the NHL at 34, divorced, got his life together, and had an incredible Hall of Fame junior career. Max used to say to me, we're all going to fall down once in a while. Don't fall down 2 days in a row. And I'll never forget him telling me that when I was in university. He's like, listen, make sure one loss in hockey doesn't become two. Make sure one bad practice doesn't become two. If you don't, make sure if you miss a day at the gym, make sure it doesn't become two. If you eat the wrong foods one meal, make sure it doesn't become 2 meals. Make sure it doesn't become 3 meals. If you drink too much, make sure it doesn't become 2 days. And I've always remembered that from Max, where it's all about stopping things dead in their tracks. And that's what that calendar's done for me. That big calendar that I have on my wall is now I have that big empty space 10 days ago, and it reminds me to smarten up and become better. It reminds me that I'm sick to my stomach about that one day, but I have, 30 other days that I've been consistent. But the only thing that would be truly losing was if that one empty square had become 2. If I was a cupcake or a snowflake or things didn't go my way and it bleeds into the next day. Well, I don't let things bleed into the next day, and that calendar is one of the biggest things. Giving myself those gold stars, those attaboys for a couple of little things I do every day, it just keeps me on task. And I don't fall into these mental swamps of, feeling sorry for myself or being selfish or being lazy. I'm just like, get back to work, like Maxner said. Okay, you come up short one day, make sure you have the best practice of the year the next day. You see it in pro sports and amateur sports all the time. As an example, a team will lose one game. A really good team will lose one game. Next thing you know, they've lost 3 or 4. The thing that I'm most proud of, besides the young men that I develop coaching with my Blue Wings team here, that's Barclay Cup champion right there, is one of the things I'm most proud of is in the 6 years I was the head coach, we never once in 6 years ever lost 2 games in a row in the regular season. That, my friend, is not easy to do. Do you want to talk about massive consistency? Like we'd only lose maybe 5 or 6 games a year, but those are heartbreaking losses. And I would make sure the next day we had the best video session, the best gym session, the best nutrition, the best prep, so that it never ever bled into something else. In other words, I didn't believe in slumps or ruts or any of that horse shit. I was like, let's get back to it. Let's go 7-0, let's go 14-0, let's go 21-0, let's go 30-0. So when, bad stuff happens to good people our whole lives, you're either in a storm, you're either leaving a storm, or a storm is coming. That's life for all of us. But here's the thing, when the storms come and you trip up, make sure that it never goes 2 days in a row. Get back on the perfect diet, get back to the gym, get back to the water, get back to walking, get back to reading, get back to doing the things that make the best version of yourself. And that is my unpopular advice today. A lot of people, man, they just don't have any stick-to-itness. Like as a father of an 11-year-old, the one thing that I want to give her as a father more than anything is grit. I swear to God, like I don't care what she does, whether she's a vet, whether she's raises funds for animal shelters. I don't care if she's a school teacher or a doctor or she runs her own cement company. I don't care as much about that as I want her to have some grit. I see the kids today, I coach them ages 5 all the way up to age 12. And the lack of stick-to-itness is just alarming. The worst generation of parenting in history. No calluses. It's all about me. It's laziness. It's selfishness. It's all those things, entitlement, and it's all parenting. So I want to do, and Krista and I want to do the exact thing for Emery. She doesn't need to be the most gifted or the most talented. I never was at any of those things, but she just needs to have that stick-to-itness where it's like when the going gets tough, you dig in. And when you do stumble and fall in this world, it doesn't become a slump or a pattern or an excuse to not show up. An excuse to waste your life. So when you're winning, keep doing the daily things, reward yourself with that calendar, red X, black X, whatever. If you miss a day, take it hard, take it personally, but then use that as fuel and gasoline to say, I'm going to go 1-0, 7-0, 14-0, 21-0, 30-0, and I'm going to fill that calendar. So that's my message for today. That's what I did in January. I'd love to hear from you below. What's your record in January? Did you go 31-0? Did you go, did you miss a couple days? Are you just getting started? Did you not even know what the Seinfeld calendar is? Are you going to get a calendar and start in February? What you measure, you get done, guys. What you measure, you get done. And just pick a couple of simple things like putting on your shoes, leaving your gym bag at the front door, drinking 1 glass of water, Putting your cell phone away at bedtime and not touching it for the first hour of the day, whatever it is, something tiny that's going to have the most impact, something that you can literally do for the next 10 years if you have to, that's going to have the most impact. And then put up a calendar by your bed or in your office and just fill it day after day after day. And if you miss a day, so be it, right back at it the next day. And give yourself as an entrepreneur those little stars, those attaboys. They're not going to come from anybody else. And it's just so critical. So I went 30-1, and I'll let you know how I do in February, but I just want to make this public because that gives me inspiration and motivation as well to raise my standards. My book is for sale this month, $100, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life. It's my 25 rules for living life and doing business on your own terms. If you're living a life that you need to escape from or sedate from or vacation from, then get a copy of my book. The link is below, nobullbook.com. And if you just use a handful of those 25 rules, 1 or 2 or 3, you're going to transform your life in the next 6 months. It's that powerful. It's all my years of coaching hockey, pro and amateur, running my own teams, father, husband, fitness, marriage, money. It's all in there. The 25 rules that govern my life. It's the only way I started living life on my own terms. Up until then, I was just a slave. I was just running a Frankenstein business. I had a high-paying job. I was a slave to my company, to my employees. I was in poor physical shape, mental shape, emotional shape. And it all turned around when I started implementing these simple 25 rules. nobullbook.com. It's a physical book. It's a tree killer. You can also get the audio. And the reason I price it at $100 is I want men and women who buy it to have skin in the game. I don't sell the book to tomato cans or low IQ guys. I want serious students, not poodles. So when you invest $100, which isn't a lot of money, it's pocket change. But the more you pay, the more you pay attention. When I put $30,000 into Bill Glazier's mastermind, I sure as hell took it serious. So that's the concept behind my expensive book. $100, plus I throw in one of these t-shirts, black t-shirts that says badass on the front and be relentless. I wear them to the gym every day. That's worth $70. I don't make any money on the book. By the time it's printed and shipped by Newman to your house or office, plus the t-shirt, I'm going south. This book I'm taking a haircut in every book. But if you like it, you're going to buy other products. I'm a capitalist. I'm not afraid to go underwater on a first purchase to earn your trust. So I take a haircut on a $100 book with a t-shirt. I don't care. It's not going to change my life. But you know what? I may just earn your trust and you may buy my newsletters and my masterminds and all that other stuff. And if you don't, that's perfectly okay as well. nobullbook.com, nobullbook.com. Physical book. It's about 300 pages with the t-shirt to your door within a week. nobullbook.com. Link is below. Remember what my 90-year-old young father says. The best is yet to come, and we're just getting started. It's like, wow. The best is yet to come, and we're just getting started. 2 words that change my life, 2 words that can change yours. Be relentless.